Hello, everyone, and welcome to the monthly Glitch AMA. My name is Rebecca, and I'm the Senior Community Manager for Glitch. We're joined today by Glitch CTO Diego and Marketing Manager Aram. Today, we'll be
Nice to be
discussing
here,
the
guys.
latest developments around Phase 4 on the Glitch mainnet, sharing some updates, and answering frequently asked community questions. If everyone is ready, let's begin with an update on Diego on some of the latest developments around the technology. So currently, the native glitch bridge is in development to bridge to the glitch network. How is the development progressing, Diego?
Thanks, Rebecca. Hello, everybody. So the development is progressing fine. We are actually starting this week the tests, the unit tests, and next week or the other week we will start the regression test to check all the functionalities. So we are pretty. I mean, we are pretty good there. So yeah, pretty excited to have it finished pretty soonish.
Awesome, really exciting. So, is there anything else we don't know that the development team is working on, perhaps behind the scenes?
Yeah, one of the most important, besides having the ability to for the glitch network to support smart contract, native smart contracts, and the revenue sharing, we are working also in a parallel track involving the speed of the network and the processing power required for the stakers or the validators to make sure that all the transactions are included. So that's also part. I mean, that's something pretty technical, but we want to make sure that the speed, the transaction speed, the TPS, it's going to be very, very good.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. So now a question around the GitHub. Will the team add the bridge code to the GitHub, and when is the next update? I was wondering because the team hadn't uploaded any commits to the repo in October. Can you share a bit
Yes,
more about that with us, Diego?
yeah, sure. The reason why we did not upload it is because we experienced some blockage in a big chunk of code that we're working on, but that's already. I mean, that's unblocked, and I expect. I'm not sure if this week, but for sure next week we will have a huge update to the repo. So you will all you guys will see a lot of different things. I mean, different changes, different commits, because we are doing a big merge with the latest code base. So yeah, next week, by the end of next week, that will be updated.
Okay, great. That's exciting news. So yeah, watch out for that one, guys. The next question we've got is for Ram. Will the team create another single-sided staking campaign after the current one expires in December?
Yeah, great question. So the answer to this is we're looking into creating another one, yes. However, it's not going to be specifically on the ETH and BSC networks. It would be on the native glitch network. So if we do launch another staking campaign, it would just be a web page and a contract where you would enter a pool on the native glitch side, and you would get your distributions from a share from that pool specifically. So we are looking into doing something like that. And we're not looking into doing another single-sided staking campaign on ETH or BSC because we're pretty close with our native glitch bridge, and that whole process will take place in 2023. So we don't really see a need for us to launch another staking campaign on ETH and BSC when we're so close to switching over to the native currency.
Yeah, awesome. Really exciting for that to be the first staking, single-sided staking on the native chain. So that's really
Yeah.
exciting.
And so the current one ends in, I think it's December 9th. So if you have your
Yeah,
tokens
it's the 8th or the
there,
9th. Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 9th. If you got your tokens staked on there, well, you'll have to wait until the 9th of December to unstake your coins, and then make sure that you practice self-custody in your own wallet up until the next campaign goes live.
Yeah, and there will also be the 24-hour cooldown period with that, right? Aram?
There is a 24-hour cooldown period, so the campaign would end on the 9th, and you would be able to unstake your tokens on the 10th.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll share some more updates around that, some announcements and guide on how to do that if anyone's unsure. So keep an eye out for that. Next question for you, Aram, is when will the
Sure.
current validators start earning rewards for the blocks they have validated? So the
Yeah,
validators at the moment.
great question. So we're getting ready to start these distributions. We were waiting on a few things to happen. Now that they are complete, we're ready to start those distributions. We hope by this week or very early next week. We've got a couple of validators waiting to get their rewards distributed to them, and we will ensure that we do that in the next week or so, maximum. So and
Awesome. Yeah,
and
good news.
yeah, and so once those distributions start happening, they will occur more regularly on a monthly basis after all of the blocks have been counted that each validator has verified. So yeah.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, good to know. And then, so the next question around validators is when will the team onboard more validators? So more community validators. What's the plan there?
Yeah. So right now, everyone's aware that that community members are able to launch validators, and right now there's about 2 community members doing so. They are technical enough to where they're able to monitor and run their own node and set it up on their own. We plan to onboard more validators going into 2023. And the reason why there isn't necessarily more than the amount that we have now is because if we onboard too many community validators, the team would lose control of the network and it would be harder for us to deploy updates. And so that's why we're not necessarily pushing too much right now to onboard more community validators. We would actually prefer to hold control of the network as opposed to onboarding more validators at this time. So when we're ready to do that, that's when we'll reapprove more validators, and plus there's a few people that do want to validate. They've already been pre-approved. They're just waiting for their tokens to be unstaked from the single-sided staking campaign. So there's going to be a lot of a lot more movements around validators in 2023. And right now, between now and the end of the year, we're really just focusing on building out the tech and ensuring our marketing plans are solid.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for the update on that.
Yeah.
So next question is around what is the marketing team currently working on? I can answer that. So currently the main thing we're working on is we are, well, we've completed the compilation. We're now in the process of uploading the more of the developer docs, so the glitch core blockchain functional requirements. So that's been quite a big undertaking, and we're really excited to get those uploaded, and then we can share those with everyone. We've been working on some upcoming website changes, so there's going to be some cool updates to the website coming, new pages, things like that. We're actively planning for 2023. 2023 is going to be a big year for Glitch, and we're very excited to release all of the tech, which is going to be supplemented by pretty large-scale marketing campaigns alongside that. So there's a lot of planning going into that at the moment. And then, yeah, more immediately, keep an eye out for the December newsletter. There's going to be some updates in there, and yeah, Twitter, Discord, and YouTube. All of those good things. That's what we're working on.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting things happening on the marketing fronts right now. And so we're excited to start pushing out and executing those campaigns in 2023. We're not going to be doing any large scale marketing campaigns between now and the end of December, but we're ready to ramp up big time in 2023. And you'll be able to see those those results going into the new year, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so yeah, that's what we've got on the marketing side. But what is the development team looking forward to in 2023, Diego?
Well, we are in it's a good moment for development because we are entering the crypto winter and nobody knows how long this is going to take. But that's a good thing from a technical team because we can focus on like the core of the blockchain. In this case, as I mentioned before, since we are working on the on the speed, on the transaction speed. There are also some other technical improvements that we have some time to work on. So we are pretty looking forward on that, because we think that that's something that you don't see it as part of the like the feature set, but it's very important for the smoothly working of the blockchain. So yeah, that's going to be our focus.
Yeah, and I wanted to drop some alpha here real quick. We're doing a lot of things. Um, I'm not too sure that we mentioned this. I think we mentioned yesterday in the Indonesia AMA, but we would like to present this, and it's really cool what we're doing here. We are moving ahead with the Glitch decentralized exchange. That is going to be in development. We're actually doing the core planning on how it'll look like. And there's some cool things that we're moving ahead with when developing this GEX. So we're planning on having a truly decentralized DEX. There's a lot of DEXs out there that claim to be decentralized but are hosted on centralized, platforms, and they're not necessarily decentralized. They're more so centralized, at least on the front end side of things. So we want to change that with the GEX. The GEX also, we're thinking about transitioning the GEX into a DAO. So there will be more information around this. And also, we've been funding a separate team to ideate a possible new launch pad that will be deployed onto the native Glitch chain the minute that we're ready to do so. So we'll talk more about this as the development for this continues and as we progress through developing these core items. But they are in the works, and we wanted to drop that, that information so that everyone's aware of what we're doing beyond what's being presented in the roadmap breakdown. Okay, so it's a lot of exciting things that are going to be coming up. We probably are going to be receiving a lot of questions around this, and we'll be doing our best to answer it as we're ideating. But none of this is completely final. We're just ideating it, and we're progressing with these things over time, and it's very exciting. It's going to be really, really beneficial to the Glitch blockchain. So just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that, Aram. It's lots of exciting things are happening internally, and yeah, looking forward to being able to ideate more of those kind of ideas and things like that.
Yeah.
So the last question kind of ties into what we've been talking about. What will be the team's biggest successes and challenges going into 2023? Did you have any thoughts on this, Aram?
Yeah, so the biggest challenges I would say really, at least on the marketing side, would be not necessarily getting newer developers on the Glitch blockchain, because we already have an influx of people who are interested, but it's more so getting the core giants to add the Glitch blockchain to their dApp, or I think that would be like one of the biggest challenges, and something that we're ideating and planning a lot right now to ensure that we're successful when we're trying to bring on more bigger projects onto the Glitch chain. So we're probably going to start with smaller developers, and then we'll expand to huge big networks. And I think there's one thing that our BD side is working on right now in connection with a pretty nice partnership. Though with our current partnerships and integrations, we want to currently integrate our existing ones as opposed to create new ones. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of challenges here. Successes, I think that we're gonna take it really. We're gonna be swinging heavily here with the tech and marketing side of things in 2023. I'm very, very confident and very excited for the work that we've been doing over the last several months. I know that things may have seemed like they've gone a little bit slow, but that's not the case at all. We've been moving very fast behind the scenes, and we're ready to push hard going into 2023. And that's why we've kind of been holding off a little bit with these big, massive pushes, because we're just ready to push out all the tech and marketing simultaneously to ensure that we have one, interest in the Glitch blockchain, and then two, make sure that we have all of our community members supporting us and whatnot during this time to make sure that we have the maximum impact. So we're doing it very strategically. and we're also ensuring that we're developing correctly, and the marketing will reflect that on the back end. So there's just a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of challenges and successes that we'll see going into the new year. Yeah.
Awesome.
What about you, Diego?
Diego, how
Or
about you? Yeah. Challenges, successes?
Well, the big challenge for 2023 is going to be to improve the capacity of the network, the TPS, as well as the processing power and stability for the validators. So, I mean, we've been running our own validators for the last 6 months, 4 or 5 months, and there are no issues. But we want to make it more appealing for you or for anyone in the community to run a validator with smaller capacity requirements. So that's what's going to be truly decentralizing the network. And I mean, we know what's been going on in the market. I mean, not specifically in the in this market, but in the in the crypto market with the centralized parties or the central actors. So that's a good. I mean, that's good for us because that means that we are on the right track. I mean, the only way for this to be truly disruptive is to be decentralized, and that's where I am aligning the focus. And now, tying back to the challenge is to make sure that anyone could run a node. In an ideal world, you will be able to run a node with your phone. Well, you don't see it, but here's my phone. So in an ideal world, that would be awesome if everybody could be running like with a smallish, very, very small processing power requirements and bandwidth requirements, so you can run it, and that will be a truly mesh network. But we are very far away from there. But that's the vision. So we are working hard to achieve that vision, so that we could have like thousands or tens of thousands of validators running multi-chains. So you will be running like different chains in your phone. We are now, that seems like science fiction, but anyway, that's what that's going to be the biggest challenge for us to work towards that goal.
yeah.
Awesome. And for me, adding on to what you said about the collapse of certain centralized entities, I think there's going to be even more kind of scrutiny in the media and policymakers in the coming year. So I think the stage that DeFi and crypto stands on is bigger than ever. So yeah, and then obviously like, on the other hand, I think there's a positive for the industry. It's more adopted than ever. The technology and the infrastructure, the scope of it is much wider. So I think it's more prominent and it's certainly not going anywhere. So it's going to be a very interesting year, and it's really exciting to be building and be a part of that.
Yeah, I also think I want to add to that last bit right there is, phase 4 is kind of like that main phase for glitch, where you'll see the core fundamental technology out there that makes glitch work in the first place. Things like the native glitch bridge, where we're going to have to migrate to the native currency, or like the GEX MVP and the revenue sharing MVP, and like these things are what's going to make glitch work in the first place. And it's really exciting to be going into the new year, especially with all these things happening with a bunch of centralized entities. We can really drive a great marketing strategy around all the things that have been happening and all the things that we're building and all the things that we're doing to ensure decentralization over centralization, and what all these protocols aren't doing, and what we've been learning on the side of that. And it's just, I just really think that 2023 is going to be a different year compared to the last year or two that Glitch has had. And I think that 2023 will be a great year for Glitch, and it'll be a year that we're finally going to be able to release all the core deliverables that a lot of people have been waiting for to start building on Glitch. So that's what I'm really excited for.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. So I think that's the end of the questions there. So Shall we move into some community questions?
Yeah. If you guys
Live
have any
one?
questions, let them rip. Please drop them in the chat. We'll be able to answer as many as we can.
Okay.
We've got about 5 or 8 minutes here. We can answer some questions.
Okay, there's one here. We kind of covered this, but is Glitch working on collaborations behind the scenes? How are we going to incentivize developers to come over?
Yes. So right now we're currently working on integrating our current partnerships. We have a lot of partnerships right now, so we're working on integrating our current ones. We don't necessarily want to form new partnerships because we already have so many great ones. It's time for us to talk to the tech team and see what their needs are and see when the best time to activate that integration into the native network. So in terms of new partnerships, we'll obviously continue to expand the ecosystem for Glitch. But right now we're taking a little bit of a step back from that, and we're working on activating our current partnerships, and that in turn creates more marketing pushes and increased impressions through co-marketing strategies and etc. So there's a lot of things that we can do. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another one in the Telegram earlier on. When it's kind of more broad, when feds come down hard on crypto regulations, how will smaller DeFi projects comply and survive? Interesting one.
Yeah. So one thing that I can add on to this is the importance of auditing. So I think that is really critical for community trust. That's why we have a audit that we're going to be, completing. Not exactly sure. Maybe Diego can shed some light on when we plan to do all this stuff. But we do plan on doing a formal network audit, and I think that really will drive a lot of interest and a lot of trust back to the community. And I think that's what a lot of people or a lot of dApps aren't necessarily doing, or they're completing audits with no named companies that people don't necessarily trust. And then all of a sudden they get exploited. Like a great example is that whole FTX saga with what I think the FTX auditing stuff was some director of metaverse, like obviously that's not going to bring a lot of trust, but if you do an audit with a more prominent and a more popular company like Certica as an example, or then that trust would be there, and you'd have less of a risk of an exploit because they're more professional in their auditing or whatnot, So maybe you or Diego can shed some more light on this and your opinions.
Yeah, just to be clear, the regulations are 20 years behind. So we are like, they're trying to catch a bird that is flying like at the speed of light with tools that are from the last century. So regulations are never going to catch up with what we are doing. So period. So when regulations appear in one jurisdiction, we just move to another jurisdiction. I mean, that's the only way for things to happen. Otherwise, the statu quo won't allow anything to happen. Look at Uber. Uber was seen like 10 years ago. It was like illegal to drive Uber. Now Uber is everywhere. So the name of the game in the technology, and especially in this space, is to do things. And when you have a mass adoption of people using it, the regulators are going to comply with the technology. It's the other way around, actually. So that's the new game that started with the big tech companies. What Google does, what Apple does, what Twitter does, they play their own game. So it's like we're going to align and adhere to the regulations that are part in whatever jurisdiction that we are operating. That's for sure. But I don't think that's going to be like, it's very difficult. It's going to be like, I don't know, some fly in your ear that you just do this and it disappears.
Yeah, especially if Glitch transitions to a DAO in the future, in the distant future, that's going to be another game-changing thing for this L1. So, yeah.
Okay. Aram, can you see any more questions?
Oh yeah, here. So marketing, so I think we went from Daniel here. Marketing will plan on near future, more active to introduce Glitch to new investors. So again, this is a marketing related question that we had already answered. This one, we're going to be working on our marketing strategies going into 2023, and we're planning to activate our current partnerships and integrations and integrate that tech to the Glitch network, and then that in turn creates marketing strategies. We're also building out a lot of things on our a lot of web pages. We're making a new validators web page. We're putting together our Glitch documentation. We've got a Glitch grants program that'll incentivize developers, and Glitch is also built on Substrate, which gives a lot of flexibility to the team and to Glitch developers. So there's a lot of benefits on all the things that will attract these developers to Glitch. And here, so I think I see here one as well. A question for anyone that can answer: what does the current workforce look like at the Glitch? So as you know, that the team page was taken down because over the last several months, a lot of the team members have been attacked verbally by a few people that have been very persistent, and they've just been a little bit uncomfortable. So we've taken down the team page for that reason. Now, we don't plan on putting that team page back up to preserve the privacy of everyone working at Glitch. And to be honest, that kind of goes hand in hand with the DeFi ethos and the privacy ethos around DeFi in general. And so you have so many DeFi projects out there that don't necessarily have a team page. You don't really like that's it's hard to explain. In my opinion, we don't necessarily need a team page listed on there when we already know everyone that's building on that's working on Glitch. And to be honest, we are presenting Glitch as Team Glitch moving forward. So it won't necessarily be individuals. So Glitch is more than an individual self. So to try to answer your question a little bit more, the workforce at Glitch, there's a lot of people working here, okay? But we're not going to be releasing a team page to preserve the privacy. I guess that's kind of what I was heading towards, and then I went off on a tangent there. So hopefully that answers your question. Here it says as well, what does the Glitch marketing mix look like for when Glitch is an MVP? We had already discussed this many times, and we are going to incentivize developers to come over via the Glitch grants program, and a whole bunch of revenue sharing capabilities, and all that stuff is going to happen. Trying to see price rise for Glitch in 2023. We can't comment on price, but we're very confident in our ability to deliver in 2023. So we're very excited. You can kind of take away what you want to take away from that statement, but we're very excited for what we're going to do in 2023 and all the great things that will come. Rebecca, do you see any more questions? I know I was just trying to answer as many as I could find as quickly as possible.
No, I think that's all of them that I can see on my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll give it about another 10 or 20 seconds for anyone else to drop any other questions in the chat here on YouTube. And if not, then we'll conclude the session. All right. So if you have any questions right now beyond this, please drop them now. We have about a minute or so. Just want to make sure that we all have answered everyone's questions. Yeah, I think that'll be it, Rebecca. So we can go ahead and end the session.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Thanks everyone who asked questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the Telegram or the Discord, or add us on Twitter. We'll get around to any questions that you have that haven't been addressed in this AMA. Keep an eye out for the December newsletter. That's going to be coming out soon. And yeah, subscribe to the YouTube, turn on notifications for the next one. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, Diego and Aram, for joining us.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you. And we'll see you at the next AMA.
Bye.